Most people struggle with in-law issues on a daily basis. For instance, you might feel like your in-laws don't accept you, or they are very critical about your spouse, or they have an opinion on everything from where you live, on how you parent your kids. Most often, poor handling of in-laws has separated couples, causing even divorce. Some people will go as far as saying their in-laws hate them so much. Now, there are lots of questions we are asking today. Now, what is your relationship with your in-laws? Now, how do you deal with your in-laws? Disrespecting in-laws, for example, how do you deal with them? How do you deal with in-laws that ignore you totally? They live in your home. Now, all these we'll be talking about in this program. Is Turn Up. Stay with us. It's another exciting edition of your program, Turn Up, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. And our goal for 2019 is empowering our women to participate fully in the economic life across all sectors, which is essential to building our stronger economies, achieve internationally agreed goals for development and sustainability, and improve the quality of life for women, men, families, and communities at large. But our topic for today is dealing with in-laws. How do you handle your in-laws? Now, if you want to participate on the program, you send your reactions on the numbers you'll be seeing on your TV screens. You can equally tag us on Facebook, and on YouTube, you just need to type Ndih Maureen-Turn Up, and you have all our past editions. But before you know our guest, I want us to watch this story, but we'll come back certainly on the story. But let's come back after the jingle. Now, before we watch the first story of the day, I want us to know who our guests are. They are women, and we equally have a man, but I'll start with the person that is very close to me. She's called Ruth Tembi. She is a teacher by profession. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
You deal with children on a daily basis. Is it so easy to deal with children?
Not really quite. It's not really quite. Dealing with children embodies a lot. And it's a character. Their characters are not really, because they come from different homes, so dealing with them,
it's not easy to handle.
It's not easy to handle.
We also have Gladys Njoko. She is a regular face on the program. Now, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Maureen.
How are you today?
No, I'm
you
fine.
look so good in your colors.
Maureen, thank you. I feel flattered, but I'm happy to be here, and I hope what we'll say, what we'll discuss here would be of some help to people who are struggling with in-law problems.
Now, they always say women are partners to men. Is that right? That's why we invited a man. He's called Pastor Acha. Is going to be joining us in the second part of the program. We'll begin with the women. The women are going to tell their stories. They'll share their experiences. We are talking about in-laws and their married women. The women who have been there and they know what it means to have in-laws around them. But before we talk about dealing with in-laws, now, can we start from defining who are in-laws?
In-laws are family members you encounter or you meet, or that become part of your after you get married.
Okay.
It might not necessarily be just your husband's blood relations, because you have to meet his friends that are like in-laws to you. Okay. You meet his colleagues that are like in-laws to you. So it's a very broad-based thing. Whoever you meet through your husband is an in-law to you.
Is it the same definition you have?
Just to add to that, it's like an informal family. I call them informal because they're not pure downline blood family. They are related to you in one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, so we call them informal family members.
Now, I want to say that in-laws, are they an important element of your marriage?
Yes.
Is it important?
Yeah,
yes, they are an integral part of your marriage.
How?
Because they are an integral part of your husband, and because you're married to that man, his family, his friends, his colleagues are also an integral part in your own life
Now,
and in your
there are
home.
people, certain people get married, they think that maybe just the father, the mother, you have maybe the blood brothers, you take the uncles, maybe the aunties. Maybe when you have extended uncles and family, don't include that as in-laws. Now, do you agree with that?
To a lesser extent. Because normally before you came into play, this man has been existing with this group of people. And by no means will you come into play and then you decide to cut off the link. You must definitely link up with them and manage them the way he has been doing to make the relationship work for good. Yes. So if you have to come in and then you start putting lines on where he has been living and living comfortably, definitely you are setting the relationship on a platform of war.
Okay. Which means at the beginning it tells you who his brothers are. It shows you everybody in the family. Is that it?
Yes.
Because maybe you're in the marriage and then you begin discovering other people and
sure,
start
you'll definitely discover other people in your marriage because you won't meet everybody at the same time. Or say during your courtship, it might be limited. What if you people are living out of the country and you come in to do your wedding? You will not have met most of his family members, so you will eventually meet some of them, and even then some of them will not even surface at the initial stage. They'll come later. Maybe they might be sick and you are somewhere where there is a hospital or there's a school, and they say, no, there's this distant relation there, or this person is coming, he's your grandfather's, heaven alone knows.
Which means that you cannot do without in-laws. You must always have them around you. Is that what you're saying, Ruth?
Normally, you must always have in-laws around you. There is no way, even if you're out of the country, definitely you have friends there. You have families that you met there.
You consider friends in-laws?
The friends are in-laws per se because there's some relationship you have been dealing with them. The relationship you have grown up with them. Their friends.
Because some people tell you that maybe my in-law, maybe they are blood relation.
Yes, that is the dictionary definition of the word.
Okay.
Right? But when we come to a layman definition of the word,
to a social definition of the word.
So which means that even the friends, you include them as in-laws.
Yes, at times you even call your husband's best friend as husband.
Husband or your brother.
Yeah.
You say this is my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Now, what's your relationship with your in-law? How is it supposed to look like?
Maureen, when you're talking about in-laws now is a little bit taggy for me because I'm mother-in-law, I'm daughter-in-law.
Okay.
So I really want to know.
That's why you're here.
Which angle? My relationship with my son-in-laws.
With your own in-laws.
With my own in-laws. At this age, looking
because
at me.
I know you've been married for more than 30 years.
Yes, looking at me, you know now the relationship is good because we've
but at least you've had ups and downs in the relationship.
Sure. But now, I think it's okay. We are not really like in-laws now. We are one big, great family.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, from the very onset, it wasn't easy. And it's never been easy for any woman because you're living your own family where you're coming in from where you're loved and cherished. That's a must. You're coming into a family where it's not obligatory for the family to love or cherish you. Your husband is there. They have to get to know you. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to have a relationship with you. So during that period, that learning period, that's a teacher right here, you know, it's always so difficult. You know, you have to repeat things, you have to emphasize. And at times your in-laws...
You were loved by your in-laws from the very beginning.
Some members of my in-laws, yes, they did love me from the very beginning.
I discovered that at the very beginning.
Yes. Others, oh my God.
They could die for you.
Others others didn't really like me. And I'm sure right to this point, they don't really like me.
But they pretend.
No, it's not even a matter of pretending.
At
this point, you don't have an option. There is nothing you can do about it. It's there. I've given you kids. I've given you my kids. I've given you grandkids. So you don't have anything to do. You just have to cope. You're at your angle. I'm at my own side of the world. So we don't really like meet unless I say occasions and things like that. That liking me, that's an overstatement. But there are some who really like me.
All right. Now, what were your worst moments with your in-laws? They just bash into your house just like that?
With that,
I mean, we'll come to that.
My worst moment. Let me see. My worst moments with in-laws is when I do something out of love and you turn it the other way, round. Let me give you an example. Take, for instance, your in-law come into the house in the evening. You're already cooked, and what is left, or just to welcome your in-law, you decide that let's go get some good fish for your in-law, let your in-law eat.
You're trying to please your
Yes,
in-law.
not just to make you comfortable,
Make
feel
the
welcome.
comfortable.
And your in-law goes back to Bamenda, and the first thing he says is that, oh, that woman is very extravagant. It hurts. Because it's something you're doing out of love. It's something you're doing to say you're welcome. It's something to say you're cherished and I want to give you the best. And the person spits it out on you and say, oh, that woman.
And maybe sometimes they don't even know that maybe they didn't have money at that time. You even had to
that you're making
trying
sacrifices.
to make some
And
sacrifices just to
says
make him comfortable.
You are extravagant. Or each time in public you say something, or where is your domain, they want to come in. You say it frustrates you, and you always want to talk back or fight back.
All right.
So with in-laws, it's something you have to be very taggy. You have to learn to bite your tongue. You have to
But
learn.
you're so patient with them.
I don't really think patience, that's a virtue I don't really think I have, to be very
Now, how
honest.
did you handle them? Because you had those who did not love you. I had others who loved you. Now, let's begin with those who did not really like you.
Okay.
Because that's your target.
Okay. There's something about me. I go where I'm celebrated and not where I'm tolerated. So if you don't like me, please, I don't have so much time to spend with you.
All right.
Unless family occasions. And even then, I don't need to sit by you, or I don't need to do things with you. I had a very bitter experience when I lost my grandmother-in-law. I thought we all had a common pool to do things. You understand? But I came to realize at the last moment that no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So I learned from that occasion. Now if there is something like that, I don't have such problems. I know I have to go about my own way. So it's been solved. With time, you learn from lessons, you learn from experience, and you handle so many things, you understand? You don't need to be in that situation anymore. With in-laws, just learn once. Once you're in a situation, learn their reactions, and you build your support from that. You know, from that incidents, you can go about it differently. Now you know, oh no.
Then try to please the person this way, the person rejects, you look for another strategy?
No. I don't really try to please, because I want to be pleased also in life. Not that I'm selfish, but it should be some two-way thing. You cannot spend your life wanting to please people.
Okay.
You understand? It should be, you should
So
look
you
at the person.
you let her be, or you let him?
Time heals.
Okay.
You understand? But don't forget, time wounds
Even
the
more.
heels too, if you're not careful. And it always pays to build a bridge. You understand? If you put the first block and you see the other person is not trying to throw sand or to bring a nail just to put, or a stick if it's a wooden brush or something like that, you start building, because you can't do it alone. You understand? So you kind of like offer peace, offer love. If the person thinks you're doing all that because he or she is too much, my God, you should withdraw, because you should be very assertive. You should set your standards. You should, I don't know whether you should draw lines, but you should know what you want, and you'll be fine.
All right, that's your own story. Let's get to it. You've been married, right?
Yeah.
For how long?
For 9 years now.
9 years.
Oh my God.
That's a long time. At
No.
least 9 years now.
Honeymoon.
And you have in-laws.
Yeah, I have in-laws.
Now,
I have
how do you
in-laws.
deal with your in-laws? What's your relationship with your in-laws?
For now, I can say it is a very, very cordial, but I think it is very cordial to a greater extent. Initially, when I got married, it was not like I was celebrated. Everybody just wanted me. No, there were people who stood on fence. They said, no, since I left university and I read law and my husband wasn't of the law department, it was like this lady is coming in with too much law in her head and she's going to like hit hard on this man. They were like putting some E and the X together to see that the thing doesn't work. I was cool. My mother-in-law per se is a very nice woman. She's not really educated, but to her, she just feel finding somebody that you understand and the person understands you well, you can move on. She gave a visa to it and we started. The other people at the fence were normally the sisters-in-law.
Yeah.
They are usually the problem. Yeah. But I think I got it easy because I had two sisters-in-law that are really educated and they know what it means for somebody to choose rather than choosing somebody for the person.
Okay.
So while the younger ones were like not wanting to, a person that is like above them in education and something like that, to them they had no problem.
Now you had other people who were not like blood relations who were like also posed a problem to you. To your
No,
marriage?
those ones they had little or no say in the issue. Yeah. Friends were like just advising my husband, you see this girl. But I think it was not really a problem as such.
Now, what are the problems you have generally with your in-laws? What generally comes up?
With my in-laws, talking about problem, I really do not see it when it comes to far-off relationship. Because we are in Douala, I have my father-in-law here in Bonamusadi. He doesn't frequent my home, but he loves me so much. Yes.
So you've not had any challenging moments as far as your in-laws are concerned?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Now, those who don't love you, because certainly there are others you don't feel that love coming out, how do you handle it?
Well, initially, you know, when you get to a family, you don't expect them to celebrate you because you were not born together. They have their own attitude, you have yours.
Okay.
So virtually, I was already prepared for it. I knew that normally, me coming from this other end of the story, or from this other historical background, they too are coming from a different historical background. We just need to meet and we understand each other. So these younger ones that didn't understand me, when they come, it's like, oh, when would they go back? Because it seems as if they'll be doing one and the same, and in fact, sometimes they do things that are stirring you up. They piss you off so that you should offer words. But then, I learned my lesson. My mother cautioned me when I left home. I just have to enter my room, be there for some time, and then get over the thing, then come out.
All right, Madam Joko, when your in-laws are coming, should they tell you before coming?
It's not just my in-laws. I like to be informed. One, because I want my guests to be.
Since we're talking about in-laws, that's why I'm insisting on that.
Yeah.
Because you can have maybe somebody from your husband's family who just like, in the evening you just see he's knocking at the door.
No. I like to be informed because I would like you to come to a clean environment, meet food ready for you. I mean, to get set for you. I like it so that when you come, we can sit and have some good time together. You understand? That's why I like to be informed so that I'm a very good hostess. So I like to prepare for my guests. I don't want you to come, then I start rushing to make up your bed, getting bed sheets. I want you to come.
If you have somebody in front of you, Ruth, now what do you do?
Meet up.
Your in-law who just comes
Batching.
unannounced, just batch on you. Now, how do you handle it?
Man,
You welcome the person and then talk. How would you handle it?
at that level, I have no option other than to welcome the person.
Okay.
You just have to welcome the person, do what you can do at that moment, even though names will not be attached, will not live without attaching to it. Because definitely they want to say that the money their brother have been working, maybe you're sitting on it, without even knowing that perhaps there is nothing at that moment since they came without informing you. So you're just doing your best to see them being comfortable. And then now it may turn the other way around. But you just have to accept it. You just have to welcome them, do what you can do, and support their stay.
You support their stay in your home. You just have to bear it.
You have to
Do you think it can have an influence in your marriage?
What a question, Maureen. Everybody, every woman will influence your marriage in one way or the other. Yeah. And but it's the way you go about it that matters. But every woman. You see, there's this story that goes, or there's this, that the man is the head of the family, but the woman is the neck. And it's the neck that actually turns the head to the direction that it wants. You understand? But you have to do it in a way that you don't break
Break the spine.
break it. So why not? Yes, you can influence your marriage
Okay.
positively.
Because we
And
have
you can
in-laws who
make your
come into
home.
your home to talk to you just anyhow. They criticize everything.
And
And then,
yes,
and then
like
you have
that
a
too.
husband who supports the in-law. Now, how do you do it, Ruth?
Ah,
We've had such situation, right?
yeah,
Yes.
they do exist.
Really, they
do
exist. Even in, I've had it in my home, so it's nothing to say. Every woman, you come across it one time or the other, because if you don't handle the relationship well from the word go, you're bound to make, just as you said, it can lead to divorce and things like that. Because in-laws, they do come in, they want things to be done this way, they're criticizing every move you make, and you see it's very frustrating. At times, don't even go back to your husband, because you're putting him in a very difficult situation.
Okay.
So try to talk it out with them,
Okay.
especially if it's a woman. And you see, it's nice when you come in younger and the elder or the older women are there giving their rules and regulations. And it's even more beautiful to watch their children get married and to see the problems they two are having in their own homes.
Okay.
And then you stand now, you're waiting for them to continue in that same line. And of course, you see they start changing. You see, it's easier when it's some other person's daughter. It's easier for you to treat them anyhow, to say anything, to walk into the house because it's your son's house and do whatever. But when it's your daughter, you think twice.
All right.
Yeah.
Which
So-
means that you set the rules at the beginning?
You set
Yes,
the
you
pace
should.
at the beginning.
You should.
How?
For every relationship to work to your own favor, you have to cut the i's and cut the t's and dot the i's from the initial stage of it. Yes, there are some things you have to set in place that steams the relationship.
What exactly?
Okay, for instance, you people have a budget, right? There is a budget, a family budget, and that budget has to be made in line with pop-in visitors. If not, when these people come, it will be a problem.
Okay.
Talking about their problems,
Mhm.
your husband has to understand that these people, they are part of you, no doubt. And there is that saying that you're married to my brother and my brother is my blood and there's never a day he's going to leave me, things like that. And if you can go and he will remarry, you know. But that notwithstanding, if you have the rules and regulations stated from the very beginning, it means that once problems like that comes up, your husband has to handle it. Even after talking out with the sister-in-law, brother-in-law, whoever may be, he still have a chance to sit them down.
Now, if your husband fails to handle the problem, what do you do? Ruth.
In that case, if my husband fails to handle the problem, I take it to my father. I take it to my father-in-law. If he fails to handle it too, then I do it my own way.
Now, can you walk your in-law out of your house?
No, I can. I can do that. Yeah, depending on the situation, I can do that. Yes, if it's somebody that is headstrong and wants to bring problem, the Lord does not permit him to do him or her to do any other thing.
But the husband comes back and then falls on you. But can we have your reaction on that?
I won't really do that. I won't do that physically, or I won't do that. But my behavior, I'll behave in such a way that you leave the house without me
Indirectly.
saying anything to you.
Okay.
You understand? I will behave in such a way that you know you're not welcome. You know you shouldn't even stand there to say another word to me. You know you should work out.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. But for me to force you, push you out this, by the time you're there for the next 3 hours, you'll just know that you have to
You
pack
have
your things.
overstayed your visit.
All right. Now we sample the opinion of some men and women in the northwest region of Cameroon. This is what they had to say. Let's watch it right back. How couples deal with their in-laws. 1. They realize their in-laws are difficult people. By this, they deal with their in-laws by recognizing they are difficult people with different ways. 2. Healthy couples make an effort with their in-laws. Yeah, they understand the importance their in-laws play in their spouse's life. They treat them with respect. They allow their in-laws access to their family. In other words, they make an effort, even though they may not always agree and understand the family dynamics, refuses or traditions, or even look forward to time together. 3. Healthy couples set boundaries with their in-laws. They are able to open conversations with their spouse about their needs and create a plan that both of them agree with. 4. Healthy couples separate their own relationship from their in-laws. Yet they always have at the back of their minds that no matter how complicated or difficult their in-laws may be, they are not married to them. 5. Healthy couples will separate their spouse from their in-laws. Here, for example, a guy's mom may be intrusive and critical, but a healthy couple remembers that her behavior does not reflect how the guy feels about the things she is commenting on. 6. Healthy couples keep communicating. Processing the difficulties is one of the most important tools a couple has for dealing with in-laws. 7. Healthy couples don't take it personally. Yet a couple should be able to recognize and deal with the fact that their parents are human beings with normal and different human feelings. Figure out your problems, try to set the boundaries, and find a way to handle or deal with your in. Welcome back, and we have a man who has just joined us here in the studio. He's called Pastor Acha. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Not doing great.
All right, we're talking about in-laws. We have a man. Now, what's your experience as far as in-laws are concerned?
You see, to start with, the way I see you guys trying to talk is like, it's one way. This in-law thing is both ways. And I think we are here trying to make the population know, because many, even the men, are suffering. We are only seeing it on the women's part, but the men too are suffering, because we have to know what are the causes that the in-laws intervene. Now, like you were talking about the definition of an in-law, it is direct and indirect family. Direct family means their blood lineage, and indirect family means your friends and the people you've grown up with, which they have nothing to do with. So they are still your family. So you have to know that. So my take home for this is that, you know, the first thing is that everybody should know that you are an in-law, one way or the other. Or
you
are an in-law.
An in-law,
Yes.
one day.
One way
or the other.
You are an in-law. And then secondly, treat everybody with respect, no matter how it is. Treat the opening, your in-laws, with respect. From there you are building. It is difficult, truly. Different culture, different backgrounds, different educational level, everything counts. So socioeconomic and so many things. So now, how do you deal with? For example, if this girl you're getting married to happened to come out from a very rich home, very rich, she had never really had time to know how to cook. But probably you, the man, accepted the girl that way. She's used to. They have washing machines and stuff. But more probably she had to get married to somebody who is starting life. They are starting their life. And then the man accepts the woman the way he is, or she is, sorry. Now, you come in and probably my own background was not that rich. And then you come, my wife is sitting there and commanding or asking people. And then you go back and start complaining. No. In-law, don't interfere. Talk to me. That's my shit. If he smells, it smells me. So you deal with the person. So in-law should learn to deal with their sons or daughter, not intervening. Because you are not a decision maker.
Which means that if you have your son, he brings a problem, you talk to your son directly.
Yes.
I'm not going to talk to the wife.
No. Because you are there to advise and not to give decision. That's the first thing. So most often we find the in-law thing getting to, look, marriage is something that is sweet. It's
Sweet
something
and beautiful.
Yes, beautiful.
Yes, marriage is beautiful.
So beautiful. And then another,
Truly
you have to know that
beautiful.
I'm getting to another family. You're just you're getting yourself into another family.
And that's the positive side of in-laws.
Yes.
Because you're getting into a new family. You're extending your family. So there's that beauty in having in-laws.
But when you have overbearing in-laws,
that's where the problem comes in. You said he's pastor, so he will normally talk of respect. But everything has limitations.
Yes.
And he will tell you, even God, there's a time God says, no, enough is enough.
Okay.
I will destroy this world with
Yes.
water. I will destroy with fire. I will ignore you for 400 years before sending my son. It's the same thing with relationship. True, you should respect people, but if they don't give you the respect you deserve, what do you do?
You see, I think with that I say everybody, you have your own role to play,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, those things will die down. You know, we have to understand that everybody, every parent love the children, love the child. And most often, some children to love the parents in such a way that they want to, they not only love, they respect, they honor them. They are the ideal people that they know, they want to take from. And then what you are giving me is not what I have learned from my parents. These are the other things we have to understand. And then you have to know, how are they intervening? What are the causes? What are the problems? If it's a matter of that person, please, I choose the person, not you. And because maybe you choose the person, or because it was not your choice. Look, and then another thing you have to know is that when you are getting married to a family, not to one person.
Not to one person.
You are getting married to a family. And now you start learning to love them, giving them room. Sometimes
Now, what do we place the blame? Because we've had young girls say, I'm not getting married to the family, I'm getting married to my husband, so nobody should come
No,
and
there's no
say,
way.
do you think that maybe parents did not do the education at the base, or give
See,
the right education to
I will come
into marriage?
I'll come back to that there. Today, all of us are still making the mistakes. We try to bring up some good citizens, but not good husbands and wives. We don't talk to them about marriage.
Okay.
There are things that we don't even talk to them. That we don't even talk to them about things like sex. We don't talk to them about handling people. We just want you to go to school, get your degree, get a job. But there are some, what we call the day-to-day reality, which we don't talk.
But that's why I'm asking if parents do.
But you see, going to school is another way of teaching kids to cope with people.
Yes.
Because there you meet with other children.
Yes.
And you build up relationship.
Yes.
Going to church or social groups or things like that, you build up relationships. This man didn't meet you because your mother was there telling you how to cope with marriage and things like that. True, we should educate our children. That's right. But the world we have today, the exposure they have, even with television and films and books and things, and seeing your parents live, already prepares you for marriage.
Okay.
Oh, my son will tell me, Mommy, I'm going to get married. I say, why? He said, because you're taking good care of Daddy, and at times I want to eat something, you say it's Daddy's food. I'm going to look for my own wife who will take care of me. So you say, and you see that boy will get frustrated if the wife doesn't keep food for him or doesn't pamper him the way.
Because you keep comparing the wife.
Comparing the wife. That's the issue.
mother.
So there is no woman who should go into marriage and say, I am getting married to my husband and not to his family. That husband you're getting married to is so attached to his parents, is so attached to his mom, is so attached to his sisters and brothers, and it's a link.
Okay.
You can't just sever like
that's,
that.
That's why I'm
it's
coming.
so strong.
Okay.
So if there is a problem, you should try to communicate. You should try to build a bridge to see how you can solve this problem so that you will have a happy home. If you're not happy with your in-laws, it affects a lot of things. It will affect your husband.
Okay.
It will affect your sex life. It will affect even the way your husband gives you money. It will. Try it. Trust me. Just be nice to your in-laws. Even when they come, there's nothing like somebody coming in without informing you. Maybe it's just that, let me get things ready for you. There is no time that a guest, especially my in-laws, will come in and my husband will not chip in. He will not come and say, Mama, what are you preparing? This person is coming. You need an extra help or something like that.
Someone would think they're like trying to protect maybe their husbands because they have in-laws who come in and the man has to spend each time. Maybe it's like the in-laws are trying to have control over everything, every aspect. Now, is it possible that in-laws can have control over the man? Let's talk about the man here. Because women do say they suffer a lot from in-law issues.
Yeah, the truth is that you know,
So, yes.
Can in-laws control the man or have influence on the man?
Yes.
yes, yes. Now, see, you know,
That's the truth.
That's
That's
the
the
truth.
truth.
No, in-laws control. There are direct control and indirect control.
Let's talk about direct control first.
Direct control now, it depends on who is the breadwinner of that house. Now, most often people get married that young, they're excited. Probably the girl she's embracing everybody. And she's excited. She wants to hear from everybody. At that time, it is the man's family influencing. Because they are there talking to her how they want things to be, and then they are now intervening. But that time she's not saying. And then later on, probably maybe at a certain age, because she now wants to be herself and want her house to be the way she wants. And now she starts getting it now from her own parents. Now the man too in this way is thinking that there is some influence. So that thing is both sides. So most often, it is because of material things that in-laws mostly get involved. If these people are average people, or you know that almost everybody is contributing fine, it's very difficult for them to come in. But if they know that the man is very rich and that's where now you, the woman in control, you are just sometimes like a slave. Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yes.
Everybody wants to speak out to you. You find your brother-in-law is very rich. He comes home, you cook food, he says, I don't like this or that. But now, again, if you are educated, there's what we call boundaries. You have to
That's
set
what I want
them.
to ask. That's
Yes.
what I want
Yeah.
to ask.
You
now,
set
should we have
boundaries.
boundaries? Should we set
Sure.
boundaries, and
Sure.
to what extent?
Sure.
Look, let me
To
tell you
avoid
something.
land disputes.
All right.
Even in our homes, there are boundaries. Yes. See, in our homes, there are boundaries.
All right.
In our home, there are boundaries. When we are growing up, there are boundaries, but it's just that we don't take note. You don't have to enter Papa and Mommy their room carelessly.
Yeah, of course.
That's the boundary.
Of course.
So why then in your own marital home there will not be boundaries? You cannot touch the pot. Wait for somebody to serve
for
you.
mommy to serve you.
Yes.
So
That's
those are
boundaries.
boundaries. You cannot come to the house after 9. Those are boundaries. So it's just that I don't know the boundaries you people. So now
in-laws now. Where do we set the boundary?
Now the boundaries come from whom? Probably you, the woman, don't talk. If you find things not going, you talk to your husband. I am not
You're
comfortable
afraid
with
to
that.
talk to the in-laws.
Not afraid. It's just a matter of
Because at
respect.
times the woman is afraid to say maybe the in-law might have. I mean, say she's not a good woman. She's not like she's not welcoming. So she avoids
Please
that.
take
and
note.
she's trying to take it to the
Take
man.
note. That is not your daughter. You didn't educate her.
Okay.
And you cannot just cut in at some point and trying to force something to somebody that you've never taught her.
Okay.
So how
And
do
is
you?
your son good?
Is
Is your
and
son welcoming?
Now, if you are intervening
you see
too
there are
much
things like
if
that.
you are intervening too much into your sons or daughters' marriage, yes, it's because you never brought that child up. Well, because that's some of the lacking point because if everything is fine, you will know how to talk. Because I'm sure this is I'll call her even my mother because don't mind this gray hair. Because if she really loves me and want my happiness, if there's anything concerning my spouse, she will talk to me. Say, I'm not so comfortable. Can you do that out of love?
All right. I still want to ask this question. Do we set boundaries? Can you
Yes.
tell your in-laws that no, you don't come to if I want to come to my house, you call me. I'll tell you the appropriate time
Yes.
to come. I mean,
Not
should you
appropriate time to
set-
come,
I
just
mean,
inform.
Do you set boundaries when it comes to in-laws?
For the aspect of calling, I think like she said
Because
from
a
the beginning.
A man maybe would like to please it's a woman is it the woman who set the boundary or the man?
no. See,
No,
we,
none of them.
No,
Both
yes,
of them.
both of them.
Both of you should set the boundaries. And it is right to tell your in-laws, I don't like this. Or, the way your husband behaves with you already set the boundaries.
That's right.
You understand? If you have a husband who comes home at 1 o'clock and your in-law is coming in at 1:30 or at 12:30, you don't have anything to tell that in-law.
That's right.
Because their son came in at 1 o'clock. So if your husband is there after work, he comes home, he eats, they watch him, he helps you around the place and things like that. Of course, if they go back, they say, Cha, now you control house. So that man they even move plates for table. You see, they start trying to put ideas into your husband's head. But if he's persistent, he does that each time because he feels you are his partner, you're not a slave. Let me help you in doing this so that at least you should rest, or, you know, that kind of thing. Then you're setting boundaries, you're setting orders. When my husband is taking his plate to the kitchen, who are you, his younger brother, to leave your plate on the table for me to come and carry? Of course, you will take your plate now, unless you don't want to eat the next morning, because your dirty plate will be on the table.
So what's the best approach?
See, in every home, every society, every place have its rules and regulations. And sometimes we might break them, for not always. In your house or in my house, my wife, she has all, I mean all the power when it comes to all.
You have given her all the power.
Yes. Now, yeah, all. She has the right. Nobody will tell me anything. If she wants this chair to be that way, that way. If she doesn't like this thing, she doesn't like it. We have to understand that. And I have to make, there are some people who are so neat, clean, they don't like anything.
Do you make your in-laws understand that your wife, nobody has
Yes.
the right to talk to your wife?
It is her house, not our house. It's not a family house. That's why the Bible makes it so clear that you leave your family. That leaving meaning that you leave is not that you are cutting the relationship. It's like before you get married, you were responsible, taking care and doing. Now you cut that part and now you concentrate now with this. You are building up your own family. You are building up your own family. So she has the right, whatever. And it is, if you love your wife, look, you have to give her everything for her to feel secure. It is not our house.
That's a man talking.
It's not a man talking. And
it is not our.
I happen to be a mother-in-law.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
And I want to believe for my son to take such a decision, he must have evaluated his wife.
Yes.
To make sure that woman will not abuse the power that has been given to her.
Yes.
Because it's not enough to say you give power to a woman, let her be all and all in the house. You must evaluate the woman, because nobody would stand to watch a daughter-in-law. I don't know how far you went to school before you met your wife. I don't know what sacrifices your parents made for you. And they can come to your house and even feel a little bit of comfort or feeling that I'm in my son's house, because there's this woman there who has all the powers. She's very neat. The chair must be here. Grandma comes from the village. Grandma's her scarf cannot be on the table, on the chair, and you just pick it and tie it on her head. You must evaluate the woman to make sure she will not abuse that right. The one, I think what he's talking about, you can sit in your office and somebody is coming and you call your wife and say, I'm expecting this guest.
Yes.
And you know your wife will take care
That's right.
of your in-law as if you were in the house. That is a man's pride. That I can stay back in the office, call my wife, tell her my father is coming home, and I'll come and meet my father, comfortable, talking with my wife, watching television, has eaten, taken his bath, and is sipping a cup of tea.
Okay.
That makes your husband proud.
All right.
Okay.
That makes your
Can I
husband
say something?
happy.
Let
That
me
makes
say
your home
Let me say
bloom.
something.
All right. Maybe we'll sell a couple and maybe
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay.
See, there's something. The Bible says it this way. It says, he who finds a wife, find it a good thing,
Yeah.
and obtain favor from God. You know, this particular scripture has really been misunderstood. It did not say he will get married. No. He who finds a wife. Meaning that I get married to a girl or to a woman, then I find the wife in that girl. And if I'm able to find the wife, then people who have been married for 20 years, they've not found the wife. They're married.
Yeah.
Now, if you marry now and then you found the wife, then you release everything to her. Let me land by here. Now, it's a bit complicated.
No, it's not even complicated, because
Yes.
the Bible is very straightforward.
Yes.
No, the Bible is very
let me
straightforward.
back it
I was
again.
talking about giving
No,
power
power.
to your wife.
You know,
something you don't really give at such, because
Mom, it's not something for the day. It's not something one day,
subtle.
1 year.
It's subtle. You just find yourself being the mommy of the house.
Yes.
That is the power. That when you talk about a woman,
Yes.
her gentleness, her ability to take care of the
That's
house,
right.
her ability to take care, it comes. It's something in you that even your parents had put in you, and you're just giving your very best in your marriage, and that gives you the power in your house. Power is not something that it's food. Power is something that comes out of you, that you spell power, and you are power itself by the way you go about things, by the way you do things. My mom will come and tell me that he's giving me all authority in my house, because he knows I can handle certain situations, you understand, in a nice way. He did not give it to me. It's something that I have learned through prayers, through reactions, through upbringing. You understand?
Now, I want us to watch this story. It's talking about the reactions of men as well as women in the northwest region of Cameroon. We'll be right back.
L'amour que je cherche, ce n'est pas le jeu que tu veux trouver dehors.
Marriage is a union between a man and a woman. Yet, in our African context, one cannot expressly ignore the pleas of in-law. In-laws, relatives of the husband or wife, play a key role in every union, as they can either make or mar of the union. According to some interviewees, one has to be very diplomatic when dealing with in-laws. To them, entertaining a healthy relationship with one's in-laws is a win-win business.
I would say my relationship with my in-laws is cordial. But I have to be diplomatic here because I may say certain things which could ruin my relationship with my wife and my in-laws. But I think that by and large, we get along smoothly.
A good relationship with a loved one will certainly extend to your in-laws, because they are the brain behind the success of what you have as a wife, as a character per se, as the future is concerned. So a relationship should always be very cordial. You need to keep it. You need to make sure that your in-law has what it takes to pamper the relationship that you have with your wife, because it goes without saying that a good relationship cannot go without
But you know, some mother-in-laws, they don't come. When I put to bed, she always come and visit me there. She takes care of the baby very well. Even my needs, she washes everything for me very well.
Relationship with my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law. Although marriage strong, but I do all things possible. Same way, and then they fine. When they come visit, I struggle for comfort them, for deal with, for story with them. When they want to go, I feel buy Maggie, buy salt. Me they go with her.
This is so to say that when you are in good terms with your in-laws, your relationship with your spouse is good. The same as when you are at loggerheads with your in-laws, your matrimonial home too will be sour.
Even though the brother-in-laws, I don't have the money, but they feel that I have this thing will chat like they are my brothers. I just take them like my brothers. We discuss together. I don't hide anything from them. They don't hide anything from me. When they have anything like their pain, they share with me.
I struggle same way, and then they fine. When you want to be like December time, we are there for market, I see some wrapper, I feel buy and go give them. Keep me be close, so that when they walk chop, they won't come to the car. When they walk their chop, then too they can't give me.
Hence, learning to live with your in-laws exercise in a diplomatic manner helps keep your relationship with your wife as well as your in-laws afloat.
My brother-in-law, and they're treating me fine, and they're not that bad. They're not that bad. They treat me well, and they're not troublesome. That's all I can say. At least I always tell her to visit me once in a while. At least keep her well, like buying some few things for her upkeep, or buy some few things for her, like to manage in the house.
Buying gifts, contributing during family issues are some of the things one should be doing in order to maintain a relationship with in-laws.
Only you, oh my baby.
Meantime, while others complain the ill treatment they suffer get from their in-laws, some have a rather positive remark.
Spend the rest of my life with you.
Having difficulties with your in-laws doesn't mean you are in an unhealthy relationship. It's similar to conflict. Having conflict doesn't derail a relationship, but handling it badly can at the same time. It's true for difficulties with your in-laws. What matters is how you handle these challenges.
So sweet, oh baby, you're so nice and lovely. Oh yeah, I'll be missing, I'll be loving, always caring for someone like you. Oh yeah, I'll be missing, I'll be loving, always caring for someone like you. I'll be missing.
Welcome back. Now we're talking about how to handle your in-law or dealing with in-laws, and we have a Pastor Acha is a family counselor. I want us to be clear about that, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then before we left, there was an argument. We're talking about. I'm sure you know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Before.
Yes.
And I'm giving powers to a woman. Now, what are you trying to send out as message?
You know, when I talk of giving power to a woman, mean that you trust her, and it doesn't come in a day or even in 1 year. Because I wouldn't say that when I got married to my wife, it was so easy with both.
It was not so rosy.
Yes, it was not so rosy, but with her family and my family. Because first, she came out from a purely church background, as I'll put it, and I was like kind of coming from a bit crazy. I mean, because my background was not like as her own. So her people never really, not all of them accepted me. There is so many questions because my grandfather had 40 wives. He was a king of Bali. My father was even born out of wedlock. So I have my own kind of way I approach life. She came out from the grandfather was a pastor, the father a pastor, the uncle a pastor, the brother a pastor. So she looked at
different.
Yes, so we're coming out from two different backgrounds. Okay, I was the kind of person that I like sociable, going out, hanging out with people, but she didn't want that. From the word, she was so close because she didn't find it that way. So as time goes on, we had to match up. And she had to accept me the way I was. She didn't try to change me because before she wanted to change me, but I don't want to change her. But she tried to.
All right. Now, let's try to look briefly on the consequences.
Yes.
When you don't handle your in-laws well, they come to the house. Now, what could be the consequences? Can it cause a woman to quit her home because of the pressure from in-laws?
Certainly, yes. Yes, I say it will cause a woman to quit a home.
Should she even do that? Can a woman do that?
From the biblical line, no. Yeah, but from a layman point of view, you can't give up your head because you want to stay in a marriage. Yeah. So, saying that the pressure from in-laws can cause a woman quit a home, I would say yes. Because those people, like I said before, they are part of the man's family. and they go about poisoning the man's mind.
Okay.
Once the relationship is not working on their side, they have all ways, they have all the means, the tactics they will use.
That's quitting not definitely the solution.
Quitting is not the solution. And if you don't have people that can talk to these in-laws, family members, marriage counselors like Mr.
So that's the
Achaye.
solution we're looking at.
Yes. I think if you have these people around you, you take your problem and pose it to them, not necessarily going very, very far off.
Is keeping distance is it a solution? Keeping distance from these in-laws, is it a solution?
No, keeping distance from them, I don't think it's a solution. Yes. But it might be a solution if they persist in their act. Yeah.
You avoid them and you concentrate on positive things?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I will not avoid them. I'll avoid them if need be. I will avoid it definitely. Because if you're struggling to pull on with somebody and the person is not struggling to see into your points of view and your ideas and how you want the world to look like or how you want your home to look like, definitely you only want to make that person part of you at all time.
All right. Now, Pastor, what's the best approach? How do you handle this?
I think it's a matter between you and your spouse.
You are 1 minute to the end of the program.
You and your spouse. If you people can go along, well, everything will be fine. Your in-laws, yes, that's true. But their in-laws, they don't have a decision making in your house. They are there just to advise. Sometimes they might talk, but it is not necessary. And people should know that your time was not our time. Things are changing.
Okay.
And because of the change of the way the society is moving.
And in-laws are not the same.
And in-laws are not the same. Our cultures, our background, our education and everything, and even the modernity of the whole thing. We cannot reason together. You just have to just be advising, because what you might be calling it wrong was not even wrong, because you had reasoned it in those your days. That's your daughter or that's your son. He is 30 years old and you are talking about 30 years behind about how your marriage or how things were moving.
So in one word, what are you telling the women?
I'm telling the women that please love your husband, respect him, and talk through him. Things will be fine.
All right, Ruth.
Yeah, to tell my pals out there, I would just tell them, stay in marriage, respect your in-laws, and they will equally respect you.
That's right.
All right, the program was Turn Up. If you did enjoy it, then take a rendezvous. Same time next week. Goodbye.
In-laws are wonderful people. Good.